purposeful regional scale entities, probably transportation and environment, because those are easier. Creating processes that operate at the sub-regional scale, but will manifest themselves at the regional scale, and sort of take that on. The challenges in doing this is that most of the people in this region don't understand what our economic base is. Fun and sun. You know, we have about as many hotel workers per capita as Cleveland. It's not an economic engine. We have lack of talent in emerging occupations and industries. So Scripps and Max Planck is important to us because it fills out our occupational profile. It makes the region competitive. You look at the location quotients of life sciences and engineering in this region, it's pitiful. It's not a region that sort of makes money. In the aggregate, there's a lot of money. When you divide it by per capita numbers, we are poor. We behave like a bad third world country. And the last thing is something about civic pride. You know, we really need some good art. We need some good sports. And what else? And all of this is sort of subsumed under this phrase, territorial capital. So in economics, there's land, labor, and money. And this sort of notion of territorial capital is new. It sort of says, figure out your assets, use them, exploit what you have, but do it from a perspective that this is something that you can brand, right? And so, you know, maybe fun in the sun works, but it's got to be stuff on that gets more dollars per bang. So a new day is dawning here, I hope, with an emphasis on processes, on knowing these ecological systems, on knowing these economic systems, and focusing on governance. Some other ideas. This notion that mega projects, big things, sort of create form. Remember the sort of gears. A lot of the actions that we do at the local level are not going to create form, but big projects will create form. What are those projects? How do we do this? And then this notion that at the bottom, this notion of regionalism science, a new word, not regional science, which is too economic. Regionalism science sort of tries to sort of get people who think economically, think from a perspective of governance, and think from a perspective of design, to sort of figure out a methodology to study the region. What are the tools, techniques, processes that need to be manipulated to sort of make the region better? So, if things are going to be different, perhaps we need to be thinking about 6 to 10 employment centers in the region, building them, nurturing them, doing whatever it takes for them to feel their competitive advantage. Double the size of MIA. Triple the size of the life science occupations in Jupiter. Keep Cisco happy. Make sure that Microsoft wants to stay. Build these sort of economic clusters of work. And don't try and tell me that every municipality should get jobs. It doesn't work. Fill in these important competitive economic sectors with workforce training. We need to sort of do a better job at developing people who have talents other than waiting on people. Convene, implement a governance structure that behaves like a regional agency. Wow. I probably want to be the god of the regional agency. to workplace and build villages. Some of the economic stuff can in fact be localized, build communities. So the late addition to this is that today is also the 40th anniversary of Sesame Street. And Sesame Street, for those of you who are too young to remember it, I found out, I asked my class yesterday, how many of you watch television? 58 people, 3 watch television. They watch television. This is disturbing. All right, so this is a harmonic convergence, our anniversaries. Okay? Sesame Street is really about how to use words for kids. And where we are in the planning profession, I think, is we need a new set of words, a new set of concepts to sort of deal with this new object, this urbanized region. So, what we've started to do is to create this South Florida School of Thought. And what I hope I did was be provocative enough to suggest some different words that we can mull over for the next 20 years. And so to see if we can in fact create this region. And with that, I'm going to sort of say thank you. And those are the take-home points. Systems, nested hierarchies, region, region, region. Okay, now I give it back to Yap.
I didn't think you were, I thought you were going to take over from me.
No, I'm not taking over. Actually, Billy Nemser is taking over. Billy Nemser, I can do this. Billy Nemser is going to moderate a panel of distinguished alumni, all of whom are quite underspoken, who are going to sort of react to